Climate hazards have profound effects and major consequences on natural and human systems in low and middle income countries. Now, scholars agree that climate hazards are crucially linked to migration and human mobility, and that the interlinkages between climate change and migration will threaten global and national efforts aiming at achieving sustainable development goals in these countries.
Madagascar is one of the most vulnerable countries to the effects of climate change, and especially for the past 5 years, droughts in the south of Madagascar have worsened almost like 2 or 3 times and driven lots of farmers to migrate. And the forest frontier is often where they convert new lands to agriculture, and it causes the loss of biodiversity, like endemic plants and animals. There are thousands of species that can't be found nowhere else in the world.
In our project chain, we adopt a multi-disciplinary, human-centric approach to develop, integrate, and supplement data and models to investigate the complex relationships between climate change and migration, to improve evidence production, policy debate, and decision-making.
I am the economist. I'm a migration scholar, so I know quite a bit about climate migration. My role is to help design the survey instruments based on my knowledge in this field in a way that allows us to see what are the main drivers of climate migration, what are the benefits to those that are left behind in migrant households, and also in receiving areas, how can we measure the economic and social consequences of migration.
Let us consider a cyclone that strikes the shoreline of Madagascar. It happens quite often, actually. It happens, generally speaking, it happens about once in a year. And we in physics, we are very much concerned about the quantification of this impact. What is the imprint of the cyclone in terms of flooding in particular, with a specific focus on the shoreline for us, but it's also very much important to quantify this impact further inland. Why? Because we are in a changing climate, and this changing climate manifests in the intensity of the cyclones that, generally speaking, strike the shorelines in the tropics. Which means that we would like to know what is the impact of today, to quantify it as precisely as possible, so as to be able to anticipate what will occur 20 years from now, 50 years from now, when the cyclones will be more frequent, more powerful, and when the level of the ocean will be much higher than today.
With respect to cyclones, the national government is going to want to know, if we have forecasts for cyclones, how much relief will we need? How many people are going to be affected or displaced by this? For droughts, it's a little bit of a development question, because droughts are sort of common. There's a famine season every year, and that drives people to move temporarily. So then there's sort of 2 questions the national government will want to understand. To what extent is this led by distress? And if this is distress migration and people are making suboptimal decisions about where they want to live, what type of safety net programs can we provide to protect those people? The other question is not related to stress migration. It's related to more, economic migration. Understanding that if people are moving every year because of a famine season, how can we better match our development strategies with this new population of people who are clearly looking for seasonal work?
The results of our project will help develop a cost-effective procedure to improve the measure of migration in vulnerable areas with low capacity for data collection and over sufficient spatial and temporal scale required for modeling these processes. This is essential for developing a climate resilience strategies and more effective policy interventions to address the impacts of climate-induced migration in low and middle income countries. In addition, the results will help also to improve disaster preparedness and to enable policy makers in these countries to effectively break the link between climate hazards and migration, which will save lives and reduce the social and economic consequences and impacts of climate hazards and migration. The results of our project will not only be beneficial to Madagascar, the case study in our project, but the results can also be helpful for many other countries, especially in Africa, facing similar climate change hazards and migration patterns.